influencers have mental health issues, featuring KarryMinati and Dolly Singh. This was a very, very interesting subject matter to me. I think that we're on a new frontier here as far as like, not just the internet, but like just in terms of like content creation and what kind of professions you can have and how we observe those kinds of people. It's interesting, like there's this weird disconnect where you feel like you can just shit on people on YouTube in the comments and it's like whatever, splooge, you know, just everywhere, just hate. One of the things my brother tried to remind me about whenever I was dealing with like that is he goes, you know, these people leave comments, they're not sitting there looking at the comment they left you. They leave it and they go away and they forget about it. They don't even know that they left it anymore. They forgot.
Right.
It's you as the content creator who has to deal with that in succession, meaning you don't have to worry about it because they're not worried about it. They're not holding on to the hate they left you, generally speaking.
They left it like a fart in an elevator and
Yeah.
then they walked away.
But I mean, because it's just text, the fart is just in your head. It didn't actually happen, is what I'm trying to say.
It's mental ninja fart.
Yeah, it's almost like there was like they put up a picture of a fart. It's just a blank piece of paper. So here we go.
कभी-कभार मेरा ऐसा मन करता है just I don't want to be KarryMinati. I just want to be Ajay Nagar.
Your mental health definitely goes down the drain. I mean, I don't know for everybody minded. Oh, you take a selfie, you make a joke and you put it out. It's just that. It's not just that.
Really, to me, the life of a social media influencer always seems so glamorous, so smooth, so easy, so not like our boring lives. मजे की बात है, most of the influencers तुम्हारी और हमारी जैसी families से ही आते हैं. इसका मतलब they rose to fame solely because of their talent and not connections. Currently, our influencer market is worth around $150 million. इसका मतलब कि अब ज़्यादातर brands इन्हीं influencers के साथ काम करना चाहते हैं because their influence works on their followers, which helps brands maximize sales. एक और रीजन है मनी. द बिगर द सेलिब्रिटी द मोर इट्स गोइंग टू कॉस्ट द ब्रांड. जैसे सेलिब्रिटीज लाइक प्रियंका चोपड़ा एंड विराट कोहली वो 1 करोड़ रुपए से ऊपर चार्ज करते हैं हर पोस्ट के लिए. Whereas a big influencer with over 500,000 followers will charge up to 7 lakh rupees per post. और जो माइक्रो इन्फ्लुएंसर्स होते हैं मतलब कि जिनके 30,000 से कम फॉलोअर्स होते हैं वो 18,000 रुपए चार्ज करते हैं हर पोस्ट के लिए. But there is a catch to it. As compared to a film actor whose fame builds gradually over a period of time, एक इन्फ्लुएंसर को comparatively काफी कम टाइम लगता है फेमस होने में और उतना ही कम टाइम लगता है फेड आउट होने में. While a film star can afford to not be on social media all the time and still have the same fan following, a social media influencer's longevity entirely depends on how many times you interact with your followers and what sort of a connection you form with them. Basically, this means that there's always this fear of not having enough likes, comments, shares, engagement, audience retention, etc. जिसकी वजह से your mental health can actually go for a toss.
कभी-कभी ना सही में बहुत ज़्यादा फट जाती है. मैं मजाक नहीं कर रहा हूँ, कई बार सही में बहुत ज़्यादा फट जाती है. बहुत बार ऐसा मन करता है कि यार बस बंद करो ये, अपना आराम से जियो. ये सब क्या है इन चीज़ों में रखा? ये बहुत डरावनी है यार ये चीज़ें.
I feel like switching it off all the time. I feel like, oh shit, I wish I could take a break, but I'm also a person who keeps getting anxious about their work. I am a workaholic.
Pressure is always there. कि मतलब एक तुम्हारे दिमाग में भी ना स्टैंडर्ड बन जाता है. For example, if I'm getting 1 million views on every video और एक वीडियो पे नहीं आते तो ऑब्वियसली इंसान डिसअपॉइंट होगा. दैट्स वेरी नेचुरल, राइट? और बात करें प्रेशर के सेकंड पार्ट की, वो है ऑडियंस. ऑडियंस जो प्रेशर कभी कभार देती है बिकॉज तुम ऑनलाइन खोलो, भाई वीडियो कहाँ है, भाई वीडियो कहाँ है, भाई वीडियो कहाँ है, भाई वीडियो कहाँ है, यार वीडियो दिखाओ, वीडियो दिखाओ. कहता है तू ये करता रहता है, वो करता रहता है, जाता रहता है वहाँ यहाँ वहाँ जाता रहता है, वीडियो तो आती नहीं है. कहा यार भाई मैं वहाँ यहाँ जाता रहता हूँ तभी तो वीडियो नहीं आती ना, वो भी तो चीजें करनी है ना.
Our job is on our phones. It's like you have to constantly keep checking what others are putting, what others are not putting, what you are putting, how it's working. All of that is it's very toxic, the culture.
मैं डिप्रेस भी हुआ हूँ, एंग्शियस भी हुआ हूँ, सारे काम हुए, बट एट द एंड उससे फर्क पड़ता है कि तुम उससे डील कैसे करते हो. तुम्हें खुद से आना चाहिए. एंड दैट्स हाउ यू विल ग्रो एज अ पर्सन एंड एज अ इन्फ्लुएंसर स्लैश आर्टिस्ट.
I can now understand why some influencers might go through phases of depression and anxiety. Basically, उनकी life ही उनकी नौकरी है. तभी तो influencers have to be opportunists all the time. It's absolutely fine if you don't like every influencer's content. मुझे भी बहुत सारे पसंद नहीं आते. But it doesn't take away from the fact that being an influencer is actually not a cakewalk. Imagine अगर तुम्हारी नौकरी ऐसी हो जहाँ पर you're expected to be creative, funny, innovative, cheerful almost all the time. Don't you think बहुत taxing होगी ये नौकरी? Yes, being an influencer does seem like a very very easy and a glamorous life. And yes, you can be an influencer as well, because creativity doesn't come with a class or a caste stamp. But be ready to be rejected not just a few times, but 1,000 times. Be ready for hate comments and be prepared if your mental health takes a hit. Yes, I'm thinking aloud. I know a lot of you might have tried to be an influencer, or if not, would definitely have an opinion on them. So tell me in the comments below, what do you think? And if you like this video, then share it and subscribe to India Times.
I thought that was a wonderful video. I think she really hit the nail on the head. India Times did a great job. You guys, please go to the original video when you're done with this and give this an upvote, comment, and subscribe to their channel, because I think they did a fantastic job with really summarizing all that you go through, no matter what it is you do on YouTube, because there's a lot of people who shit on reaction videos. It's easy, you're just watching other people's stuff. What's so hard about that? Like, everything has its challenges. You don't know until you do it. There was some back and forth comment I was having with somebody. I think it was on someone else's video. It's one of those controversial things, right? I left a comment there and there was like a lot of back and forth. There's a thread there and I went back and forth with somebody because I engage with people. He goes, "That's easy." And I'm like, okay, if you think it's easy, I fully encourage you to do it for a month and then compare your videos to my videos and see how you feel then. Because you'll see what goes into it. You'll see what I do that makes it special. And he goes, "Well, I don't have all the camera gear and stuff that you have." I'm like, I bought that stuff at a risk. Like I went into, what do you call it? On a loan, in debt.
Credit cards.
Credit cards in order to do, and I didn't buy it for reaction videos, I bought it for making movies. And then like the YouTube stuff came into my life and then I just repurposed it for YouTube stuff. The fact of the matter is, in 2020, you can become an influencer just using your phone. You don't, with this goddamn thing, you can shoot, edit, and post, and review, and respond. Like, this is one of the most powerful tools on the planet. There is no excuse if you want to do YouTube videos, right? So I was like, if you have a phone, you can do it. And he's like, "Well, I don't want to." I'm like, exactly. It's a lot of fucking work. And so she really put it in perspective. And the entire time I was watching it, I was actually thinking about you, because it seems like emotionally you take a lot of that cross to bear. Like I've managed to, thank God for ACHARA, because like I often just try to isolate myself, and she can speak to that. Like I try to just do this right here and give all of me to this. Of course I'll edit. Like we just put out the Manoj Bajpayee interview and I did like, I'd say 90% of the edit on that. ACHARA took over the last 10 because I was just like, I was falling asleep. The point being is that I tell ACHARA that I'm like a bull. Like you put me where you want me and I will charge hard because I'm really good at one thing at a time. I'm very bad at multitasking. And so that's why it's like when people go, "How come you're not doing more movie reviews or blah, blah, blah?" It's like, yeah, because I'm good at like this. And so ACHARA is the one other person here, and it's hard to pull other people into the fold that you trust when there's a certain standard you're looking for and you don't want to lose time by trying to explain to someone else how to follow that standard. Because that costs money, that costs time, that costs effort. And it's like, now you got to deal with that person. It could be a bigger headache. We've tried to incorporate other people into the team. This is not regarding anyone in India, by the way. We have people on our team from India who are all wonderful. But we've tried to incorporate people here. And outside of my sister, it's always been a headache to try to work that out. It's very time consuming and you're always on. And when you're on camera, you have to, there have been instances where ACHARA and I have had a fight and I'm like, we're not shooting. Fuck it, I'm not shooting because like I am not there. Like I just can't do it. And I have no interest in faking my emotional state because I feel like that reads. It reads when you are not being yourself. And so one of the few instances where I tried to charge ahead anyway was in the Kumbhalongan Nights review where I was just not in the mood, but I'm like, we have to do this, we have to get this out. And then the video got shit on horrendously, people going, "You're just faking it, you're just saying it because you got bullied into doing this review, you don't actually feel this way." I loved that movie and yet I still get hate for that review, even though the only issue there was that I just wasn't feeling YouTube that day.
Like you said, the video touched on a lot of things that were true. I mean, just the other day, what happened? You came to me with a comment that someone had said, and I literally had a breakdown and I just started crying. And it wasn't even about that one comment because there was just a whole bunch of stuff that I have been, collecting and harboring and people's expectations from me, the expectations of like running the channel, the expectations of running Patreon, all the different things that people are asking of us. Where are the movie reviews? What about this trailer that I asked you to react to? Different people constantly coming at me and the audience going, "But we want to see this, we want to see that," and I'm just trying to balance everything. And then I read comments and then someone says something mean and I'm the type of person who takes it to heart. And so, I mean, I've had to become a lot more thick-skinned since being online. I'm definitely way more thick-skinned than I was
4 years ago.
4 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Growing up, I was a super sensitive kid, you know? And so sometimes there can be comments that like trigger that in me, and I will just like fall into a depression and like have a cry. And there are times where I'm just like, I just don't want to do this today.
Yeah.
Like I need to take a break. And that's why like, I know that we work so much. We work all the time, especially now that we're here together.
In lockdown.
In lockdown all the time. But there are days, and that's why usually like on a Saturday or something, I'll just be like, nope,
Yeah.
this is my day. And on my day where I don't do anything, it doesn't even have to be fancy. I just want to sit around in my pajamas and like
Not do shit.
not do shit, or watch a show that I want to watch just
Yeah.
because I want to watch it, or play a video game just for me.
Yeah.
Write, do nothing,
Yeah.
paint my nails. You
Right.
know, all those things that kind of go to the wayside because everything is work. Like she said, your life is your work.
Yeah, they mentioned one thing that was very, very important here that some people would hear and think is totally unthinkable, which is just shutting it off.
Yeah.
And I've had that fantasy sometimes, honestly. Like, I've had that fantasy of deleting my Instagram, deleting my Twitter, deleting my YouTube channel, and just like, pff, it's not a problem anymore. And just walking away. Because sometimes the pressure is just so much. Sometimes all the voices is just overwhelming, and you're trying to just keep it in perspective, which is why I largely just kind of turn my head away. And I'm like, okay, I let ACHARA basically take charge. She's like, this is what we have to do. I'm like, okay, we're doing that. And I'm like, I'm just super gung-ho on those things. That's why you see me talking so much oftentimes. Like, people think I'm dominating over ACHARA. It has nothing to do with that. It's that I have so much energy with that stuff because someone has to. She's dealing with a lot of stuff off camera. Not that I'm not. I'm looking through hundreds of emails every day, and I go, okay, that should go to ACHARA. That should go to ACHARA. That's it. It's like, and someone has to sift through all. So we each have our roles. My sister does like the first pass edit, and then and she'll look at the comments sometimes and let ACHARA know when something's like weird according to the comments. We each have a lot that we're doing all the time, and I have had those instances where we get into it, or there's something that's just happening where it's just like a stressful day with YouTube, and like I just don't want to do it anymore sometimes. And I hate saying that out loud because it sounds so spoiled, but it's something like the pressure is something that cannot be conveyed. The only way you can understand it is by doing it. It's like parenthood. It's like having sex. It's like having a child. Like I just said, parenthood. It's or you know, having a parent die on you. Like there are certain things in life that you can't convey to somebody. They just have to experience it. Like, people have told me what it was like for their dad to pass away, and I'm like, okay, I don't know how to, I can understand like how that might suck.
Yeah.
But until mine did, it's like no one can really tell you what that feels like. People try to tell you how having a kid is one of the most difficult things. Yeah, sure. And then I had a kid for 4 years, and I'm like, this is fucking difficult. It is so hard. And that wasn't even like my natural born child. I didn't have her from the day she was born. I had her from 4 to 8 years old. And so like there are things that, this is one of those things, I think personally, where you just don't know. You just don't know what it's like until you've done it. And then you get the hate that people are throwing at you, like, your job is easy, you don't know, whatever.
Or like, you're dumb.
Yeah.
Like, oh man.
Right.
You know, oh, you're fat. I'm like, oh God damn it.
There's comments that are like backhanded as well, like, cause it's a compliment to the channel, but it's still backhanded at me. Like, they'll go, Jaby would be nothing without ACHARA. ACHARA is what makes this channel. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna sit there and take it on the chin. People have no idea what's happening behind the scenes. People have no idea what the conversations are that goes into all of this stuff. They don't know what leads to just this video right here. All the work that's led to this video right here, whether it's my sister's edits or ACHARA's edits or my, take on everything and like just the production of it all. It's like mini movies that are all expendable. They're all very disposable. And it's like, there used to be a time when I'd finish an edit and I'd feel proud. And I'm like, cool, I can sit on my laurels for about a day or, and you'd share that with everybody. You'd take your little short film to everyone and share it over and over again. Now you finish a video, it's like, well, this is fun right now and it's done. and then I gotta do 3 more of these tomorrow, you know, and it's just, you gotta, you know what I mean?
Or in the case of what CarryMinati was talking about, you know, like he doesn't drop videos all that often, but when he does, they're pretty damn cool, right?
Yeah.
He drops a video and then he goes online again a little bit later and people are all like,
where's your next one?
Where's your next one?
Yeah,
what
where's
are
your
you
other
doing?
video?
Like, what are you, no, you're doing all these other things. Why aren't you making videos? And it's like, because he's a guy with varied interests. And it's the same with you. You're like, okay, like you enjoy doing the reaction videos, you enjoy doing the reviews, but where's the time to make the short films, to do the other things, you know?
Yeah, I've been taking more time aside lately to write more because that was something I've been neglecting for a long time. YouTube came out of as a necessity, a mental and emotional necessity. It came at a time where I really, really needed it. And then I think for ACHARA, it was the same thing. It came at a time where she really, really needed it. And it saved us from what would otherwise be some horrific situations. And so mine, I think, a little bit more dramatic than ACHARA's, but nonetheless, I mean, I think it saved us from some otherwise horrible situations, right? And now you elevate beyond that, and you're still grateful for the platform and the position and the love. You're still grateful for all of that, but it doesn't take away from the pressure, the very real pressure you experience day to day. And so I have had to, because I've been doing it longer than ACHARA, I've learned to get to that place of really disconnecting from all that a lot more in order to stay in the proper headspace. ACHARA's still getting there. Like, she still has days where she's crying.
Yeah, because like the thing is, like, I genuinely love our community, and you know, I want to do things that make people happy. I want to spread positivity. I want to spread joy, and I want people to appreciate what we're doing. And then if I see that someone is disappointed, or like if a lot of people are disappointed in a particular video, I'm going to feel a certain way about it.
Yeah.
You know, because that's not the result that I wanted to net.
Yeah.
And then I get emotional and I'm all like, oh no, why does everybody hate us?
And the funniest thing is, the saddest thing is, the hatred is louder than the love sometimes.
That is so true.
You know? And so sometimes you put out a video like this, I guess, and then people feel bad. And they go, oh, I should have said something. And then they say things in the comments and they share their love with you. My hope is that when people see stuff like this, they develop the habit of voicing their positivity and their love when they feel it more often. And I think that's important. I have made a strong habit of making sure to vote up videos that I watch and commenting when I can, if I'm not like crazy busy, because oftentimes it's like we treat content like it's so disposable, and it's like people put time into this stuff, and the influencers you love, I think, are crafting their videos.
Well, I think feedback is valuable. Feedback is good. If you have something that you think, you know, you see a video and you're like, that could be better, yeah, share that, please.
Yeah.
Like, we're all trying to improve here, but don't just be mean.
Right.
You know, there's a difference between constructive criticism and just being plain mean and just like being hateful, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, one of my biggest pet peeves though is when okay, like for instance, the CarryMinati versus Mortal video, right? Mm-hmm. When we first looked at it on the live stream, a lot of people got mad at me because I said that Mortal was cheating. I'm like, all right, now I've been schooled. He's not cheating. And so we put out an excerpt because a lot of people didn't see that video. And I said in the beginning, in the preamble, I understand the thing. I've been schooled on this. And yet, despite that, so many people took to the comments to tell me the exact same thing. He's not cheating. You don't know what you're talking about. You're an idiot. Like, and it's a lot of that. And it's like, damn, like one was good. I'm reading the comments. One was good, but and it's better if you just vote that one up. But like everyone has to say that statement, and you deal with that, and you're like, okay, I'm not even. It makes it not interesting to even look at the comments when you see something like that happen. I just turn it off. Not turn off the comments, but like I don't look at it because there's no dialogue happening anymore because everyone is saying the exact same thing, and I can't be bothered to respond to everybody. It would take all day. Right. You know, I wish that sometimes when I look at a video and I feel a certain way, like a little bit of vitriol, I'll go to the comments and I'll see if someone said that, and then I'll go, okay, I'll vote that comment up. Because it's the responsible thing to do. Why are you gonna say the same thing? But anyway, I mean, it's the internet, and this is, like I said, it's a new frontier
Yeah.
It's a brand new frontier and we're still figuring this out. And I think that what we really need in the next 10 years, as insane as this sounds, is we need internet etiquette in school. We need that as a class. You need that, at least one semester of internet etiquette in schools all over the globe. It needs to happen. The powers that be, all over, like whether Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates and all the powerful white people need to come together, come up with a doctrine, and then put it everywhere and make that part of a curriculum in school, because I think that we lack it and we sorely need it. And I think that would help mitigate some of the impact that influencers face, the consequences that influencers face with engaging in this medium. I think we've spoken at length enough.
Yes.
Thank you again to IndiaTimes for making this video. I think it was a phenomenal video and really hits the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, great job. Great job. Check out ACHARA KIRK as well as the Jabs on the social media. Be kind, rewind, and leave a nice comment.